Hey everyone, GuardianE here with another live reaction and first impression video for Fire Emblem Heroes, and today we're getting the next set of new heroes to get introduced into the game in, I think, tomorrow or the next day, so very shortly. So let's get started. As usual, I'm not looking at my screen. After the initial character flash, I'll look up so we can get surprised by each of the character reveals one at a time. So let's get started. I actually have no idea who it could be. Really, the sky's the limit as far as character selection is concerned, so I'm gonna look up now, I guess? Oh, hey, Knight Defender. Who is this? Annand? That's a lot of N's in that name. Alright, she's going to be a Pegasus Sword Flyer. She looks great. I'm not that familiar with Genealogy, so if this is going to be a Genealogy banner, I'm not going to know the characters, but I'm always happy for more flyers. And she looks glorious. Really graceful. Love the wings and the feather design. Youthful Flame is going to be next. Azelle, Infantry Red Tome User, that art by Toby. Sparking Tome, Red Dual Infantry 4. Oh god, we've got dual 4 skills. I mean, I guess that makes sense with the BST advancements we've seen. Alright, Young Blade is going to be next. Okay. Lex, I like his I like the cut of his jib. He's going to be an Axe Cavalier, Goddess Axe. And who are we wrapping things up with? Ooh, another flyer, Earnest Knight. Oh, she looks glorious. She's a Pegasus Lancer, of which we have obviously many of. B Dual Flying 4 though, which is quite exciting. All right. So the Vital Blade is going to be the new story chapter. It is going to be a genealogy banner. Oh, we are going to see the introduction of the new Valkyries within Book 5, so that's pretty exciting. She is an enemy unit on this map. I don't know if that implies we're going to be getting her. Probably not, but that she will be introduced into the story, so that's exciting. I'm eager to learn more about those two, or more, for that matter. Alright, so new heroes are here. So starting on the 15th, which will be tomorrow, we're going to get Enduring Legacy. The banner will feature 2 reds and 1 green and 1 blue, so colorless is a color that you do want to avoid on the banner itself. Lex Young Blade is going to be the 4-star focus unit of the banner. Red is going to be a color sharing color. I will just reiterate that color sharing technically does not increase the orb cost of a specific focus unit, even if it is color sharing. It does not make a significant impact on when you're sniping on that particular color. Like I said, I don't know a ton about Genealogy, so I'm going to be a little in the dark here as far as the characters themselves, but the 2 flyers definitely piqued my interest. So let's rewind and take a closer look. It does look like they've actually taken away the character splash too, which is pretty nice. I guess maybe they realized that people don't like all the characters revealed at once like that, so pretty good. Alright, so here's Annand, which again is the first flyer of the batch. She's going to be a sword flyer. Art is by Mayo. I really like the elegant, opulent design of her outfit. It has this pristine white, but there's this very ornate embroidery going on there that matches the armor plating that she has up top. She has the long gloves that look, almost silky in texture. She has the thigh-high boots. Her luxurious green hair is just kind of swirling around behind her. And I really like the black lace lining and gloves too. I think that's a nice touch. So the art's pretty nice for her, I would say. Let's see what her skills are going to be. So Unbound Blade Plus. So it is going to be an inheritable sword. If unit is not adjacent to an ally, inflicts attack defense -5 on foe during combat and neutralizes foes' bonuses to attack defense during combat. I'm pretty sure this is the non-seasonal version of a seasonal weapon. I just can't remember which seasonal weapon it is. But it's decent. I mean, obviously it's going to be geared towards solo artists, units out there without any units adjacent to them. In-combat debuffs are pretty decent, and what she wants out of that is going to be -5 to attack and defense, and that's going to be helpful to her. And neutralizing the foe's bonuses to attack and defense is certainly solid as well. Moonbow for the special. Sturdy Impact for the A slot is excellent. If unit initiates combat, grants attack +6 and defense +10 during combat, and foe cannot make a follow-up attack. Any of these impact skills that prevent the enemy's follow-up attack is pretty much very solid. And Guard Bearing 3 as well for the B slot. During unit's first combat in enemy phase, if foe initiates combat, reduces damage from foe's first attack by 50%. Guard Bearing 3 is an excellent skill for tanky, mixed defense flyers for sure. Can drastically increase the survivability of a unit, especially if they have sustained specials and sustained skills. Honestly, she has pretty awesome skills. Unbound Blade Plus, I can definitely see uses for it. Moonbow is decent, always good to have in your back pocket, essentially. Sturdy Impact is awesome. Guard Bearing is awesome. So even if you didn't want to build up this unit, she has great skills to pass on, especially for flyers. I will say, as far as her kit is concerned for herself, I think it's spread a little thin. It depends on her stat line, but Guard Bearing, of course, only works on enemy phase. Sturdy Impact only works on player phase, and so she has like some sustain on both sides, or I guess enhanced defenses on both sides or both phases, but it doesn't necessarily feel cohesive or synergistic. Still, great skills though, for sure. Let's take a look at her attacking art. She's going to tank this attack. Or no, she's not. There she's going to be attacking. Obviously, this is going to be her special art, but it's beautiful. I mean, look at the iridescent, sparking quality of the ring that's around her. You have the sword itself that shifts in shading from the blue to the green. You have like an explosion of feathers around her. It just feels full of energy and dynamic, and she's rocking that grin. She's all too eager to proc that special. All right. Pretty nice. All right, next we have Youthful Flame. This is going to be Azelle, who is an infantry red tome user. If it wasn't obvious from how much red he's actually wearing, he's got red hair, red eyes, a red cloak, red tunic, shirt, top, and then white slacks. He looks, the art is clean. It looks great. Toby usually does a great job. I feel like it's a little bit on the flat side. I mean, Toby's done some great work in the game in the past overall. This one kind of comes up a little short for me, I think. But it could, of course, mean that that's just part of his character, and I just don't know it because I'm not that familiar with the character. But I'm not, like, terribly impressed with the art here. But let's keep going. See what skills he's got. So he is fully decked out here. He starts with the Sparking Tome, 14 Might Red Tome. It's not going to be inheritable, exclusive to him. Grants speed +3 at start of combat if foe's HP is greater than or equal to 50%. We're seeing that condition more and more. Inflicts speed res -6 on foe during combat, and inflicts penalty on foe's speed res during combat equal to current bonus on each of foe's stats ×2. Example, if foe has +7 bonus to speed, inflicts speed -20 for a net penalty of speed -13. Calculates each stat penalty independently. So Sparking Tome grants speed +3. That's certainly solid. The condition is essentially that the foe has above or equal to 50% health, so they have over half of their health. And it gives them an in-combat debuff to speed and res, which is great. That increases his damage, Azelle's damage, as well as the doubling potential of him. During combat, in-combat debuffs are always harder to shake in general or neutralize, and inflicts penalty on foes speed and res during combat equal to the bonuses. So if you have activated buffs on the foe, it's basically going to further cripple the opponent based upon the level of activated buff that they have. I feel like they've really been beating and bullying down on activated buffs, like really for the past year or 2 years. And I feel like it's kind of unnecessary at this point. Like, I think activated buffs have taken a huge beating over and over again, to the point where we've gotten counters to activated buffs. Like, we've gotten skills that neutralize penalties as far as that's concerned. So I don't know. I mean, it's situational. It relies on the enemy having activated buffs to take advantage of it, specifically on the two skills that are probably more important for him, which are res and speed. So it's fine. It's fine. But I guess I just don't really like the direction that they're taking with just, again, beating down on activated buffs and making them even more irrelevant. I just don't really see the point in that. Rally up speed plus for the assist. Red Dual Infantry 4, okay, for the A slot. So grants HP +5, and attack speed defense res +2. Okay, alright. So out of the gate, you already have +2 to all stats, which is much better than the R Dual Infantry 3. If unit is a 5-star level 40 and a legendary or mythic hero, unit stats total less than 175, treats unit stats as 175 in modes like Arena. If unit is 5-star level 40 and not a legendary hero or mythic hero, and unit stats total less than 180. Treats unit stats as 180 in modes like Arena. Alright, just for reference, the dual 3 skills cap at 170, and they don't have this condition of legendary or mythic hero. I mean, I personally have a love-hate relationship with the dual skills, probably more on the hate side, admittedly, because I honestly hate the way that the game handles arena scoring. I think it's flawed, I think it's stifling, I think it cripples imagination and creativity and strategic building. To not get too mired in this argument, we're doomed to always have these skills going forward and upgrades to these skills because that's how the arena scoring happens. And since they've introduced these skills, they've kind of hung their hat on it. I mean, it's always going to be the case going forward that the older dual skills will be kind of irrelevant on the basis of scoring. So these skills are going to exist. On the flip side of things, the fact that you can use these skills so that you can use your favorite units and get, near max arena scoring and BST ranking for arena scoring is generally an okay thing. Again, I don't like arena scoring in general. But anyway, that notwithstanding, we have the fourth tier of dual skills here, making their debut. Speed Res Ruse 3 for the B slot. If a Rally Assist skill is used by a unit or target's unit, inflicts Speed Res -5 and guard on foes in cardinal directions of unit and target through its next actions. I actually think of the more recently added B-type skills that implements a debuff, the Ruse skills actually aren't too bad, and that's because with the nature of how small Fire Emblem Heroes maps are, cardinal directions from 2 units is actually a pretty wide range. So I could definitely see it having uses, although I think it's still limiting just because the B slot is such a competitive slot. Joint Hone Speed for the C slot. At start of turn, if unit is adjacent to an ally, grant speed +5 to unit and adjacent allies for 1 turn. I think the Joint Hone skills are great, but of course it is also an activated buff, which Intelligence System seems hellbent on neutralizing. But I think as far as activated buffs are concerned, that's a pretty great one. So I'm not in love with his kit. Sparking Tome I think is solid, but situational. Rally Speed Up Plus is fine. Red Dual Infantry 4 I think is kind of boring, but again, a necessity as far as, us getting these types of skills. Speed Res Ruse 3 is okay. I'm okay with the Ruse skills. Joint Hone Speed is definitely decent fodder, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really impress me that much. People are probably going to still pull for him, specifically for the Red Dual Infantry 4 skill, at the very least. But yeah. I'm not terribly impressed with his kit, kind of like I'm not hugely impressed with his art either. Again, it's clean, it's nice and solid, just doesn't wow me. Again, much like his skill set. Alright, so attacking animation it's okay. Circle of Fire, pretty cool there. Alright, so Young Blade, this is going to be the 4-star focus unit of the banner. And that is going to be Lex. He is going to be a cavalry axe user. I like the ornate design of his tunic and the jewel that's embedded, it looks like, in his belt, as well as the fastener for the cloak that's behind him. I like how he kind of raises the fist, and he's got kind of a cocky smile on his face. He looks pretty nice. Certainly looks very regal. I'll give him that much. It looks like he has a pretty good sense of humor. Alright, so he is going to be the 4-star focus unit, but he is going to have his own exclusive weapon. So that's going to be Goddess Axe, which is an 11 might axe. Grants defense +5 and inflicts speed res -5 on unit. Unit attacks twice. Even if foe initiates combat, unit attacks twice. I see. Okay, so this is going to be... So we do have an increase in survivability with the defense +5, but then he gets a penalty to speed and res. Speed being a natural pick with brave weapons, as, the default brave weapons have speed -5. But then res -5, I mean, I guess if he was going to take a hit to some sort of a defensive stat, he would want it to be res over defense. And he's getting a defensive boost. Unit attacks twice, so that brave effect both on player phase and enemy phase. So because he can enemy phase brave attack, Vantage might be a good pick for him for the B slot. Or maybe he's just tanky enough with his default stats and the defense +5 to be able to sustain a hit and counterattack twice in a row. I don't know, but it's interesting. Reposition for the assist, obviously one of the best movement-based assists in the game. Attack defense push 3 for the A slot. At start of combat, if unit's HP is 100%, grants attack defense +5, but if unit attacked, deals 1 damage to unit after combat. The push 4 skills are amazing. The push 3 skills, not so much. So It's a little unfortunate that he has the push 3 skill that's not really terribly valuable except for being a stepping stone to the push 4 skills. C-slot, Axe experience 3. While unit lives, all Axe allies on team get 2 times experience. So I'm pretty sure we already have this in the game. I don't know what unit has it, but I don't know why we're getting another unit with it added. Maybe it's a seasonal unit that has the experience skill, but even so, the experience skills for the C-slot are not very good. The Valor skills, the SP skills, are actually useful to have at least one copy of each of them because it'll help with leveling your units and gaining more SP. But the experience skills, I mean, the experience always just caps at a certain point anyway. So, first of all, it's not difficult to level up your characters. That's for one thing. For another thing, the experience caps per kill. So there's a limit of how there's a ceiling of how much experience you can get per kill anyway. So I'm not. I don't know. It feels like they just threw this on him. I don't know why. If I had to guess, they're just putting this on him because the Axe Experience 3 was previously on a seasonal unit, and they just want to throw it in the regular pool. But, yeah, not terribly remarkable. Honestly, he doesn't have a ton to get excited about. Even as a 4-star focus unit, he really doesn't have a ton to get excited about. Reposition, it's always worth having more repositions. Goddess Axe would be great if it was inheritable, but it's not. It's exclusive to him. You can double, or you have a Brave effect on enemy phase, and that's, probably why it's exclusive to him. But it's not like that remarkable of a weapon, and his other skills are just, easily accessible or really not that desired. So it's a little unfortunate for this guy, but maybe his stats are good and he's a decent plus 10 project. Again, as a 4-star focus unit, he is going to be relatively easy to get merges for. So if you do want to build an Axe Cavalry unit, he might be the way to go. But I love the design of his axe in this attacking art. I like that he kind of points to his opponent a little bit too. Like, it's a little bit of a cocky pose. But yeah, that's a beautiful design of his axe. So see him attack twice in a row there. It's okay. Alright, so Earnest tonight. Next up, we're going to have Erinys, who is going to be a Flying Lancer. And, I mean, I think her art looks absolutely beautiful here. She reminds me a lot of Paula. That's probably not an accident. And I personally love Paula, so that makes sense why I'm a little smitten with her here. But she looks fantastic. I love her long green Viridian hair, especially towards the tips where it kind of opens up and you have all these different cascade of shading and colors of the green. She's flashing us that gentle smile. I like how her belt is a little askew and kind of loose off of her hips. I think it's kind of a nice touch. And speaking of hips, I mean, she's got a very classic hourglass shape. Very, very fetching body line. And of course, as a Pegasus Knight, she is of course rocking the thigh-bearing short skirt and thigh-high boots combination, which is always a head turner. So yeah, I think she looks fantastic. Now, she is a Flying Lancer, of which we have a million of, so she's going to have to work hard to actually differentiate herself from the pack. So let's see what they gave her. Alright, so Celeste Frost, it's a 16 might lance, grants attack plus 3, alright, starting off strong. At start of combat, if foe's HP is greater than or equal to 50%, grants attack speed plus 6 to unit during combat, and also, if unit is within 2 spaces of support partner and initiates combat, unit attacks twice. Okay, alright. Okay, that's actually pretty interesting, because that does mirror a little bit how they've tried to implement triangle attack from the Pegasus Sisters into the game of Fire Emblem Heroes. So being able to, essentially the condition being when you're around other flyers, you'll be able to double or have a brave effect on your weapon. And so she does have this, except she has to be within 2 spaces of her support partner. And that does seem to be something that they're doing more often with the support partner feature, is having more conditions based upon that. So breaking that down, attack plus 3 is going to be helpful because she essentially has a brave effect when her condition is met. So that's going to let her do more damage. If foe is greater than or equal to 50% HP, which is a 50% HP, is a pretty relatively easy condition to meet. Attack speed plus 6 are both going to be great things for quadding. So all this kind of culminates in allowing her to essentially quad and delete an enemy on the field, which again is not it's not a particularly unique feature of a Flying Lancer, but she's probably going to do it pretty darn well. Harsh Command Plus for the assist neutralizes target allies' penalties from skills like Panic, Threaten, etc., and negative status effects that last through allies' next action, converts any penalties on target ally into bonuses. Certainly a vast improvement from the original Harsh Command, which was more or less useless. Harsh Command Plus definitely has more uses as an assist, especially for certain maps and certain situations. Blue Dual Flying 4. Okay, so we're not going to read through this whole thing. It's going to be the same exact skill as Red Dual Infantry 4, except for Blue Flyers. Basically, everything I said about that skill also applies to this skill, except for Blue Flyers. I am excited to see more of these dual flying skills, just because it allows me to run the teams that I want to run in Arena with relatively higher scoring. But again, I have a love-hate relationship with these. For the B slot, Chill Attack Speed 2 at start of turn inflicts attack speed -5 on foe on the enemy team with the highest attack plus speed total through its next action. So the dual chill skills are actually pretty decent, I would say, overall. I think for her, especially since she's probably going to be a quadder, she would want probably speed defense, chill speed defense too, because she would want to do more damage. Plus, she would want to guarantee her ability to quad. But it's a map-wide debuff that all of her allies can enjoy, so you know, it's fine. Attack Defense Rain 3 for the C slot. Inflicts attack defense -4 on foes within 2 spaces during combat. So an in-combat debuff to attack and defense. It lets her do more damage and take less damage. Again, I think with her, it would make more sense for her to have Speed Defense Rain 3 in this instance, because that's going to guarantee her ability to quad and take out a unit. So it's a little bit weird that they chose those specific ones. Maybe it's trying to set her up as a Gale Force user. Don't know. I mean, obviously she doesn't have a special, so you could put Gale Force on her. But overall, she's going to be an effective quadder, I'm sure, out there. Depending on what her stat line is, of course, but based upon the skills that they have here and kind of what it seems like they're gearing her towards, it seems like she is going to be pretty able in that capacity. So, yeah, definitely a solid kit. Let's keep going here and see her attacking art. And yeah, her attacking art delivers as well. I think it's beautiful. I love the sheen of her hair. It's just nice and glossy. She has this red ribbon that's hanging off of her lance that creates this drive and this movement as she's rushing her lance forward. Her expression is very fierce there, and of course you get an eye full of thigh, which is always appreciated. I think with her special art, I'm curious if there are going to be a bunch of feathers and other effects flying around, because I'd really like to see that as well, but I'm sure it's beautiful. Definitely like the attacking art at least. And again, we're going to get the new story chapter, The Vital Blade. So, pretty exciting, and I'm excited for the introduction of those Valkyries, who are also going to be flyers. It looks like one of them is at least an axe flyer. So, starting on the 15th, that is tomorrow, we're getting Enduring Legacy. And I have to say, not a terribly remarkable banner. I think this is probably going to be a pass for a lot of people. We're getting a Forging Bonds event, so we will get summon tickets, so you can spend those summon tickets and poverty pulls to try to get these units. There is going to be a sparking, so if you really want one of these units, you can spark to the 40 pulls and get one of them guaranteed. And they are new heroes, so they're going to drop into the regular summon pool, so they're not limited in any capacity. Just bear that in mind as well. That said, if you're fans of these characters, absolutely go in for them, because again, that supersedes, in my mind, that supersedes everything else. You know, build characters that you love, because characters you love, your love for a character can't be power crept. Everything else can be. So as far as I'm concerned, that's always the safe bet. But as far as what they bring to the table, as far as their skill sets and everything, you know, I don't think there's anything that's hugely standout. There are highlights here, for sure. Like, Annand has some amazing skills that are not really commonly available. And so if you wanted to go in for her just to get the fodder, I can understand that. If you're really going after the dual skills, red dual infantry, blue dual flying, those two skills are exclusive here so far on this banner. So if you really want to get that arena scoring up, I could definitely see that. Lex, if you want him to be your +10 project, he doesn't have that much, I would say, as far as skills are concerned. But if you wanted to really build him up, you could certainly go in for him on this banner. At the very least, Erinys is going to be a very competent flying lancer, a quadder, a gale forcer probably, so that certainly, you know, brings some value there. For me personally, I'm a little undecided because I absolutely love Erinys' art, so I would want to summon for her just for her art. Also, I really wouldn't mind having an extra copy of blue dual flying, because I could actually use that for my team, so I'm a little bit torn. I might actually summon a little bit for this. I'm at least going to be using my summoning tickets to try to get Erinys, but we'll play it by ear. But let me know in the comments below if you're excited for these units, if you're excited for this banner, and if you are, which units you're going to be going for. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to leave us a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Fire Emblem Heroes content. We thank you all so much for watching and for taking time out of your day to spend with us. We really do appreciate it. Certainly hoping you're all staying safe, healthy, secure, and united out there, and wishing the very, very best for you, your family, and your friends. And until next time, let's protect those skies.